Okay, this is my story about the Litecoin Summit. I got back from the Litecoin Summit last weekend. It was the 14th and 15th, Friday and Saturday. Had a great time. This is the Litecoin hat that was passed out, actually sold there by the Litecoin Foundation, and I'll come back to this in just a minute. To start off with, I was here at the Lightning Summit, or Litecoin Summit, again, 14th, 15th. A lot of great speakers that were there, and I mean, just overall, I went there to find out more information about Litecoin and Charlie Lee and all the different people that are involved. And I came back away extremely impressed by the support between the people that are behind Litecoin at the development level, but also the corporations and just the Litecoin community in general. Had a chance to meet a lot of YouTubers and just people that like me that just want to just check things out. Right, so this is the summit. I started off, and there's a bunch of different people that are involved that were there, including Charlie Lee. He was there. We had the Litecoin Foundation director that was there. VP of engineering from Gemini. So Gemini was represented because they just brought Litecoin onto their exchange. This guy, Derek Capot, super impressive from TokenPay and all the things he's doing. That's kind of incredible presentation. Here's a guy from Cool Bits, also super cool. There's a small little credit card like device you can put in your wallet, which literally works through Bluetooth like a Trezor or a Nano Ledger. Super impressive. Without actually having to plug it in, it just works by Bluetooth and through facial recognition back to your phone. Super cool. And anyway, a bunch of other speakers, on which I'm not going to go through, blah, blah, blah. And lastly, I just want to mention there was Naomi Brockwell. She was there as well. She was one of the hosts, right? And a whole bunch of YouTube stars that were there in different panels, and they all had a chance to talk. And it was all fascinating and well done too. And really nice to see, because this represents the main marketing arm for Litecoin. So this is the big panel of people that were there. Of course, somebody who wasn't there wasn't actually officially on here, although they were on the panel, was Jason at 4 Joe was actually a presenter on the panel, but his name wasn't on here, and so was Bix Weir. He was a presenter, and he wasn't on there. We do have my boy Crypto Blood was on there, and that was pretty awesome. And here's John Kim, he was actually on there, and so forth and so on. Anyway, here's the schedule. There's day one, and I actually didn't go day one just because I didn't want to pay for the full 2-day ticket. So I actually watched the first day live stream. That was great. And here's day two. I did go to, and that was fun. But at the very end of day two, I'm going to point this out. We had this Bad Crypto podcast. And so these guys did a live broadcast that was there in the room with a lot of people there. It was super cool. Well, during this live broadcast, they brought this group of people actually up on stage from the United Nations. And again, it's nowhere actually here on the schedule. From the United Nations, represented Agenda 21 and Sustainable Development Growth on the stage to represent at the Litecoin Foundation, Litecoin conference or summit, but they're recognizing blockchain in the world and the kind of changes and benefit it's going to have towards moving forwards into going forwards into the next years and beyond, right? And I have a couple pictures, and that's why I'm doing this in the first place, because I had no way to get this across. Here is a picture that I took actually from the audience. You can be able to see this lady. She's giving the presentation about how great this is, blah, blah, blah. I'm not sure who this guy is. In the background, you can see Naomi Brockwell. She's back there. This guy is from the Bad Crypto podcast group, and as was he, and that was nice. And we can also see Charlie Lee back there. Off to the right, you can see this little canvas covered up, and that's what I wanted to get to. And here it is. The canvas has been uncovered. You really can't see it very well. And they had everybody come out with some sort of a pen, right? Marker, yeah, Sharpie marker, and they actually all signed it to represent their commitment behind Agenda 21. Super freaking weird. And I'm going to zoom on this a little bit so you can kind of see what it says. Okay, this says SDG, Sustainable Development Growth Earth Ambassadors presents. It says, after combing the world for over sustainable technologies and collaborating with peacemakers on the globe, the SDG Block Fund is a movement that has many working parts and partnerships organized on the highest levels to see us through these earth changes. And when they say earth changes, you know, what do they mean? Global warming? Are they referring to the, in my opinion, like, you know, the change that's going to happen because of the change in the sun, right? Where we're going through a grand solar minimum that's going to, and has been, creating all kinds of problems as the earth goes to sleep or the sun goes to sleep. But anyway, here's the things that they're talking about: rights of Mother Earth, all life on the planet, and poverty, zero hunger, good health, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to read all of them, but you can see gender equality, but just want to kind of show you what they are. You can read them more in there later on. But there's 21 different things. And ending with indigenous people right and decentralized and good governance, right? So I just found this super weird to throw this in at the very end, not officially on the schedule. And they get everybody to sign this, you know, good governance. This almost sounds like the Georgia Guidestones a little bit, but you know, to the next level. But it's presented by the United Nations. That's who they are. And then coming back to this, while I was actually there, also just before this happened, Charlie was up on stage and he was all happy. He was actually interviewed, and he took about 10 of these different Litecoin Foundation hats that they had for sale. They're actually on the Litecoin Foundation website, but he actually had a bunch of these and he threw them at the audience. My wife got one. I thought it was pretty cool. I didn't really know what it was. I saw it, you know, for sale before, you know, in the main foundation area where all the different, you know, vendors were set up, and I saw this weird thing on the hat. I went, that's kind of weird, but I didn't really look at it that closely. But now that I have it, you can see it's a phoenix flying up with a Litecoin in its mouth, right? Flying up from the ashes, and even says Phoenix Den, right? If you can read that. And it's signed by Charlie Lee, because I wanted him to sign it. I even had him sign the underside too, because I just did. Anyway, super weird, but I thought, oh, what is this all about? So the Phoenix Den. So the Phoenix Den is, apparently there was this thing called the Bitcoin's Den that was put together. So Charlie Lee, that he wanted to have this, what it says here. This is the early version of the same hat, which is black, and it says Phoenix's Den, right? And he says, which is better? This is analogous to Bitcoin's Dragon's Den. I know, tough decisions. Everybody said, yes, we want to have Phoenix Den, right? So I think this is like a Twitter locked group for people to discuss things, right? But why did he choose Phoenix Den? I mean, seriously, why? Anyway, he did. Oh, and then here's this other tweet he had. He said, I'm in Litecoin's Dragon's Den. This is where we concoct all the evil plans. No. Dragon's Den, that's what they called it back then. But anyway, this is clearly this is a joke, or is it? You know, it just seems that when I see this tied together along with a hat, right, and also with the Agenda 21 and the United Nations, and then of course we all have seen this. We come back to the Economist magazine from 1988, and they talk about this. Get ready for a new world currency. And here's a phoenix rising from the ashes of all the money, and it even says Phoenix. And it just makes me, it ties together too strangely for me, right? So anyway, that's what I want to share. That's all I have. My first video. Let me know what you think. All right, take care.